Hey, it's Meg, welcome back to my channel. So today is another weekly flip through of my journal for Junk Journal July. This journal is getting really chunky now, and I'm working on the other side. So let's just dive straight in. And last time we left off on day 14, which was this one. So day 15 was layered, and I just created a really simple layered collage in my journal, just something really simple to do, and I just did it on one half of the page. And I mainly wanted to have this illustration from an old book as the focal point, and then I used different tones of papers underneath to add some texture, so this kind of neutral tone, more of a brown, and then a pink. And then day 16 was borders. So what I decided to do was create a collaged border just along the edge of my page and use that as a way of laying out my page. So I used all different types of papers, some tracing paper, some old book pages. This is just some old packaging, like brown kind of card. So I just used that as the layout of my page, and then used this bit to do some journaling. I'm not a massive fan of these pages, I'll be honest, but like I said, it's all part of learning and trying new things in this style of journal. And then for day 17 we had paint, so I painted some gouache flowers on my page and also did kind of some painting with coffee. If you want to see a process of how I did this page, it's over on my channel, because I had to do some journal surgery to extend the journal to make sure I had enough pages. I also added this envelope, which is from a Disillusions journal that I didn't really know how to use the envelope in the front of the journal, so I just decided to take it out, chop it in half, and use it within my journal. I just think it looks really cool, and I've just added in here just a journal card just as like a little tuck spot, and I really love how this looks, and it's got a really cool fastening on it. So I just wanted to leave that as it was, and I really love this page and how it turned out. And then we go on to the reverse, so let me just turn it round. So now I'm working on the reverse, so obviously I need to be a little bit careful with what I'm doing because there's stuff on the other side. So for example, with my coffee painting, I don't want to bleed through to the other side of the page, so I'm probably going to lean more on collage and ephemera, purely because I don't want to ruin whatever is on the other side. So yeah, I probably won't use any coffee. But day 18 was quote, so this was just a tag that came on some packaging, and I decided to just obviously cover up whatever the brand name was and write a quote on some brown paper with a white pen, and it blended in quite well with the colour actually, so I quite like how this turned out. I used the scrap label that I had done for this page. I'd stamped first and then stamped again to get a fainter one, and this was the one that I'd stamped, so I was just using up leftovers from a previous journal page, and again just some collage in the background to make this the focal point. And I just decided to focus on this side of the page because this is the cover and I wasn't really sure what to do on this side. Day 19 was Happy Mail, so I decided to use things inspired by Happy Mail in a sense, so like different stamps and washi tapes and bits of ephemera that I've had in Happy Mail from friends, and just really collaged this page, but I love how it turned out. I used a little doily here in the background, added a floral element, I think this is vellum, but it's got like script writing on it quite faintly, some tracing paper that I put over this image because it was competing with everything else I had on the page. So if you've got a lot of elements on your page and you're looking to draw attention to just one, then using tracing paper or napkins or tissue paper is a really great way to push things back but still have them be visible. So this red image doesn't really take over the page too much, you're drawn more towards the stamps and the floral image and cluster over here. Just collaged this botanical image onto the top, just really daintily, just to add a little bit of interest, and then did some journaling here. And I'm really loving doing my journaling in a uni pen in sepia. I just love how it blends into the page almost. And then just used a little label here to add my date onto the page. Day 20 was collage cluster, and I put this prompt in because it's probably one of my favorite techniques to use when I am junk journaling. So essentially you just gather lots of different scrap papers, different textures, different tones, different colors, and assemble them in a concentrated area on your page. So for example here, I've focused on the lower 2/3 of the page, and really I've only focused on like this section of the page. So there's this little tag and everything else is like peeking out behind it. So rather than covering the page, you would pick a section of your page to work on. So this could be like in a corner like I've done, or side of your page, in the middle of your page, across the center like this. Anything that's like collected together in a little cluster. Over here is the same as well. You can see just the different layers and textures of different papers, and I just think it gives a really nice layered effect to your journal with all the different bits of papers. And if you have just tiny little scraps that you don't know what to do with, they're too small to do anything with. So for example, this piece here, this is some coffee stained vellum, and it's really not a big piece at all. It was just like a cut off. Using it in this collage is a great way to just add that little bit extra texture and dimension to your journal page. So that's why I really enjoy using this. It's a technique you could also use as a background for maybe photos or tickets, ephemera that you're adding to your journal. It's really versatile. You can obviously use different colors. I've chosen my standard neutral palette, but you can use any colors that you like. And I've used a floral sticker just as a focal point, and I've put the date with just a stamp that says July, and then I've used a number stencil to outline 20, and I really love how this white pen looks on the brown tag. And then finally, day 21 is relax. So I had a journal catch up with one of my journal besties, Pamela. We don't normally journal, we normally just talk for like 3 hours. We did actually do some journaling, so I created this page. This was originally just completely white, this kind of color here with just some text. So what I did, because it felt really stark, especially compared to these pages that I had previously done, so I collaged across different papers and tea stained things and added like washi, and this was just like a scrap piece of painted paper. And then I used my Liquitex paint marker in Titan Buff, which I think I've mentioned before I don't really like, but I'm kind of learning to love it, to add just little bits of colour and paint to my page. And then I added a little ticket here just so that I had a space to journal. And this is actually from a crochet pattern that I'm currently working on. I started a new blanket, so I just added this because it also kind of fit into the prompt of relax as well. And then just some more collage bits here and there. So I really love the interest on pages like this, and I just stamped across all the different types of paper, so you can see here nothing is like straight or aligned, but I really love that look. And then this is just a floral image from a little like vellum paper pad, and I just think it looks really cool and like textured, really interesting. So, and this is a kind of spot where you could just journal here as well. Don't feel like you need to just journal like in one spot. If you cover several pieces of paper, it tends to bring your page together. So that is the page that I created for the prompt relax. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this week's pages. Let me know how you're getting on with the challenge and what your favorite prompt was for this week. As you can see, this is getting super chunky now, so I'm having to be a little bit careful with it. But if you haven't already, adding some string to your accordion journal is just a great way to keep it together when you're not using it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.